Hey gang, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Mzansi and USA News. Today I came across in my Twitter feed this what you see in front of you. Scene out of a movie. Scene out of a movie unfolded at Nseleni Township in Bangeni. I put the off there myself because it doesn't read well without it. KZN. It is alleged that Constable Msane from Esikhaleni, South African Police Services, was driving in his private vehicle when he saw a lady walking across the street toward a tuck shop. It is alleged that Constable Msane proposed love to the lady, who never responded to Msane's compliments. It is alleged that Msane started insulting the lady, who retaliated by saying, "You too." It is alleged that Msane jumped out of his vehicle and assaulted the lady with an open hand. The lady managed to scream for help. Then her uncle came to her rescue with a knife in his hand. Msane ran back to his vehicle and took out his service pistol and fired 9 shots towards the uncle, killing him instantly. Upon hearing gunshots, this is a masterpiece. The grandmother of the lady came out with her firearm and fired 4 shots. That one is a masterpiece. I can't read it with a straight face. She fired. This is a grandmother. This is not her mother. This is not what you call her father. It's her mother. Unbelievable. So she fired 4 shots towards Msane before falling to his death, meaning she hit Msane with those shots. It is alleged, meaning she's a sharpshooter as well. We don't know the distance, but she clearly trained in firearm handling. It is alleged that Constable Msane fired 1 shot towards the grandmother, killing her instantly. Police recovered 2 firearms, 1 knife, and 3 bodies at the scene. My goodness. Our country has now become this. It has come to this in our country. Can you see that? There is the police officer, Msane. This is a young boy probably between 25 to 35. That's a young boy. I'm telling you. So this is the gogo. Interesting. Wow. Damn. This is a whole movie. Men who can't handle rejection are way too dangerous. I agree. I'm not going to read all of these comments because I believe the story. The grandmother of the lady came out with her firearm and fired 4 shots. I was at my 3rd when I fainted. The grandmother and the guy, Naibo. I don't have enough views for this. It's really shocking. I mean, a grandmother coming out with a firearm. Think about that. Nevertheless, what is not shocking about this story is its likelihood of having occurred. Why? Because of this. You see, here is a list of countries that have a high crime rate. This is the map of the world. Crime rate by country. Now, I won't bore you with the details of that, but I just want to show you. It's Venezuela, that's sitting at 83.76. Papua New Guinea, which is at 80.79. Your country, my country, 76.86. South Africa. Can you see that? In the top 10, we are number 3. That is pretty sad. And that is why I'm saying to you, this story is probable. Look at this. South Africa has the 3rd highest crime rate in the world. South Africa has notably high rate of assaults, rape, homicides, and other violent crimes. This has been attributed to several factors, including high levels of poverty, inequality, unemployment, and social exclusion, and the normalization of violence. Wow. So, who then do we have to blame for this? We have nobody else to blame but the ruling party. South Africa has one of the highest rape rates in the world. More than 1 in 4 men surveyed by the South African Medical Research Council admitted, what? 1 in 4, for example, that would be 25%. So you're telling me that 25%, more than 25% of men in this country are rapists? And still, we don't have a law that says rapists that have been found guilty should be killed. Of course, by government, not through vigilantism. But I don't think they should come back from prison. How do you rehabilitate somebody who has caused such trauma to someone else that they may never recover from? They may even commit suicide. Doesn't make sense to me at all. What do you guys think? Do you think that rapists, convicted rapists, should spend time in jail and then be rehabilitated and be sent back, be exposed to parole? I mean, if you look at the sentencing on these crimes, 7 years, 15 years, you have literally traumatized somebody. You have killed that woman. It's going to take so much for that woman to recover from the pain you have inflicted in her if you have raped any woman. And more than 25% of men in this country, no. My goodness. And they are still here. I do have a problem with this. A serious problem with it. Because I don't think rapists should be brought back into society. They should be killed by government. Remember, government has monopoly on murder. Okay? For all those people who, and the reason why our country is homicides, rape, assaults are so high is because our government is not performing a government function. In countries where, let me show you something. In countries where murderers are killed, murder shoots down. In countries where rapists are killed, rape goes down. Anything that government punish heavily, that thing disappears with immediate effect within the society. Why? As I always say, one of the reasons for you to have a secret carry of your weapon is that it is precisely because those who like to shoot at others, they don't like when the bullet comes towards their way. You get the point? Nevertheless, let me show you what I meant. If you read over here, I'm gonna read this, which I had said initially. Thought I would not read it. Overall crime rate is calculated by dividing the total number of reported crimes of any kind by the total population, then multiplying the results by 100,000, because crime rate is typically reported as an X number of crimes per 100,000 people. Crime rates vary greatly from country to country and are influenced by many factors, so I want you to see those factors. For example, high poverty levels. By the way, I don't buy the high poverty levels. I grew up very poor with many people around me who also were poor. We never became convicts. None of us became convicts. We were not into crime. But nevertheless, it may be because when you do research, you don't do research within one particular community. It may be that because of our other orientation, which is geared or engineered towards the fear of God, that is why we were content with such a state as we found ourselves and never thought it necessary to do all these evils that other people are doing. But nevertheless, let's continue with that. For example, high poverty levels and unemployment tend to inflate a country's crime rate. Conversely, this is the point I wanted you to see, strict police enforcement and severe sentences tend to reduce crime rates. So basically, when the ANC took over and they removed death penalty for any crime, they literally were introducing a system that would not be sustainable, that would not be conducive to lower crime rates. They literally were creating an environment conducive to where we are right now, being the third highest. Maybe we are yet to achieve what they wanted us to achieve, which is number one. I'm saying that, remember what I said? I said we have the ruling party to blame. South Africa did have a death penalty during apartheid. So if people had killed others, you would be killed. And rapists were sent to jail for the longest time. And that is also can explain why where we grew up, we didn't know any rapists. Okay? And you seldom heard about this, what you call on the news. The only things you heard, well, I don't want to talk about that because those were they were politically motivated issues. The point, though, is this. When the government removes prayer from school, as the current government did, removes corporal punishment from school, and then writes laws that children have a right to go report to the nearest police station if a parent touches them. Such a government has no interest of its citizens being chastened and well-behaved and morally upright individuals. They removed religious instruction. They removed prayer at school. Religious instruction or religious education is what we went through during apartheid. They removed it. And then they removed the death penalty for the very crimes that these bastards, when I'm saying bastards, it's what they would train. Remember, you'll raise a bastard if you don't train a child in the way they should go. So these little bastards that they are fostering, right? When they now start manifesting their training, then they even say, no, don't worry, we'll send them to jail for a short time, and then we'll say they are rehabilitated and send them back to community. And then they become repeat offenders. Why? One, they can't find a job now. They're in a catch-22 situation. They have to leave. They're in the middle life, probably still youth, because they committed a crime when they were a teenager. They served 15 years in jail, and then they come back in their 30s, and now they can't find a job. One, they missed out on education. Two, they have a criminal record. Three, then they have to live a life of a crime. Can you see that the entire system is designed such that there should be crime in South Africa? Now, you're going to say to me, no, I'm giving too much credit to the ruling party. Maybe I am, but maybe I'm not. Because there is a book called The Naked Communist. If you can get hold of it, read it. These are strategies that communists uses to literally destroy a country from within. So if you look at all the things that the African National Congress has done since they took power in Nelson Mandela, they literally had implemented that book to the T. When I look back, because I read the book about 3 years or so ago, I was shocked beyond measure. I said, but these are the things the African National Congress has been doing since they took power. Precisely. So now we find ourselves where we are. I've just mentioned a few of those things. They removed prayer from schools. They removed religious instruction. They said children should not be touched. They literally gave children more rights than parents. And they said the teachers should not corporally punish children at school. So they are not punished at school for being late, for misbehavior, for speaking anyhow. Then when they get home, they can do whatsoever. And then what else do? They say, for example, our law in South Africa says 16-year-olds cannot agree to have sex with another 16-year-old, right? But yet, the African National Congress says 12-year-olds can abort without alerting their parents at home. Wait a minute. I thought the 16-year-old is not allowed to have sex. So how is a 12-year-old going to abort? Can you see the problem with this logic? It doesn't make sense at all. But these are the things, and many South Africans don't even know that we have such laws. Look at the Domestic Violence Act and so many other acts that they have passed in Parliament through the back door. When you read them, you say, so you mean if my children, whom I'm training in a certain manner, were to go to the police, I would be arrested for disciplining my own children? Yeah, you would be. In South Africa, you would be. Make no mistake about it. It's there. It's a law in this country. And it was passed by what? Your favorite comrades. So why do they pass such laws? Because they want to indoctrinate your children. They want to train your children in the way they want them to go. Then it explains the scenario that we have of lawlessness, of 25% plus men being rapists. And still they are still alive. They are in the society. They are amongst us. That's far too many. There shouldn't be any that has been convicted and let loose in the streets. But the African National Congress abolished death penalty. And again, they used politics to say because their comrades were killed, blah, 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 blah. But wait a minute, government has a monopoly. They are the only ones who can kill a person legally. So what do we do with all the murderers? What do we do with all the rapists? And then they are saying, no, we are rehabilitating them, we are training them to come back to society. But we never agreed with that nonsense in the first place. I thought this was a government of the people, for the people, by the people. What happened to all of those good things that are written in the Freedom Charter? You find that in a communist state, none of those things matter. What matters is their communist book, step-by-step procedure to destroy a country from within. Look at our values today. Look at how morally bankrupt the ruling party is. Nevertheless, this is not about, well, I can't say it's not about the ruling party, because it is. They are the ones who have created an environment where a man who's wearing a uniform can literally, when he speaks to a girl who has an inherent right to dignity, that girl has an inherent right to dignity which must be respected and protected in terms of the Constitution. Clearly that police officer doesn't know that. That is why when that girl then doesn't respond to him, and then he starts insulting her, and then she says, you too, so he believes he can insult somebody and not receive the same back, yet he's violating her constitutional rights, instead of simply driving away and accepting the fact that when you approach a girl, you risk ridicule. That goes without saying. Those of us who've been married for a long time knows this. Okay? Once we obviously went around to Shishela Mandombazan, but you knew that it's 50-50. Either she's going to accommodate you or she's going to beat your head off. It's just that simple. There's only two options. There is no middle ground. But there is no option there for you to beat her up or to insult her. That does not exist. Nevertheless, guys, you tell me what you think about this. This is pretty sad for something like this to have happened in a family where now this girl is faced with a scenario where her uncle and her mother, her grandmother, are now dead. And there are idiots in that family that are going to blame her for this. What do you guys think about the questions that I've asked you? I mean, if you've got 25% plus rapists in our community, what do you think should be done with such crimes, violent crimes? I'm one of those people who think that a rapist should literally, once convicted by a court of law, no, they should be hanged. There should be no comeback from it. None of that. I'm saying once convicted by a court of law. I'm not saying you are accused. I'm not saying let's believe women. No. That's a nonsense Kamala Harris, the Deputy President of America, was saying. No. 1,000 times no. I have a video here, a shot where a woman was confessing that she would sleep with a man and then the following day go to the police and accuse that man of a rape, when she knew very well that's how deceitful. And she said she was angry against men. So, but why go and do this against other men who had nothing to do with it? I'm not talking about that. Where I'm at is, this individual did commit the rape. He was proven in a court of law and found guilty of the same. Then what do you think should happen to them? Because any woman who goes and accuses me of rape will not be able to have evidence of that. Why? I'm a married man. And I don't go around raping people. Nevertheless, man, jokes aside, what do you think should happen to such people? Well, you can comment down below. I think this is a sad incident, though. But I'm a little bit upset by the environment created by the ruling party. You can clearly see here, the chickens are coming home to roast. How can we, without a war having been declared, become a number 3 highest crime rate in the world? How safe are you? So all of us now must be cowboys. We must all be carrying firearms and be ready for action all the time. Wow, this is terrible. We really need another political dispensation of people who are not communists, because if you read the book I've recommended, Naked Communist, you'll be amazed by how identical are the African National Congress's actions since they took power to that book. It's shocking. Okay, have yourselves a lovely day further, and I trust you enjoyed the video. Click like, and if you have not yet subscribed, please do. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much, and share the video with as many people as possible. And I would really appreciate your comments on the issues that I have raised. What do you think about rape? The fact that we are such a high crime ridden country. Do you think that I'm far-reaching when I'm saying that we have to blame that from the ruling party. The ruling party took a country that was not doing very well financially, but they took a country that had such a high morality. Okay? Our morals were not loose. The issue of necklacing and all that, that's the ruling party's strategy from exile. They called it the People's War. And I'm still intending to make a video on that to demonstrate to you how wicked these comrades, these communists are. Because the People's War is what Mao Zedong from China used in China and killed 50 million Chinese. Letting you know that even the 21,000 that was killed during apartheid was black-on-black violence because of the so-called People's War. I digress. Just watch out for that video when it comes. I'll be calling it exactly that, the People's War. Watch out for that video when it comes. Up until then, ciao ciao. Bye now.